Hey everybody, welcome to Example of Play. In this video, we're continue our Let's Learn of X4 Foundations, the space sandbox game, and we're going to pick up kind of where we left off last time and learn some more stuff. Before we had done some simple missions, we had learned how to make a little money, how to do some basic upgrades for our ship, and how to navigate around through space and different systems and everything. In this video, we're going to look at some more ways to make money and kind of how to start our economic empire. Hopefully by the end of this video we'll do some crystal mining. That's another way to make money. We will hopefully scrape together enough funds to get our own mining ship, and then maybe even hire an NPC pilot and show how to set orders so that you can begin your personal space empire, having NPC ships and pilots out there doing stuff for you while you're doing other things at the same time. So there are so many ways to make money in this game, so much different stuff you can do, different paths you can take, but this is a pretty classic one. Put together some funds, get your first mining ship, and go out there and mine those asteroids, and then eventually get an NPC to do it for you. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so like I said, one way we can make money is by crystal mining. So you can do this without even getting a mining ship. You can just take your starting ship out and find some asteroids and look for crystals, which you can then collect and sell for money. One place that you'll definitely find asteroids is here in Argon Prime. And if you just fly around a bit, it's not too hard to spot an asteroid fields like so. This one is just right off the space highway, right where we left off last time. And so you just cruise over to it and then start checking out the asteroids. So you have to kind of visually check them, and you're looking for basically a little sparkle on them, and that's going to tell you that there are crystals. Like I think I saw one right there. And really, if you kind of stop and pause for a second, it's easier to see them, I think, than as I was flying around trying to find them. On this big asteroid right next to me, I had just found one before. Let's see if it's rotated a little since the last time I saw it. Now, I know that I've looked up some different guides for the game over the years, and that I think at one point this was a really great way to make money early on. It was really easy to come out here and pick up a bunch of crystals. Ooh, there's one. And it's been nerfed a little bit over time in various patches to the game, but it is still an easy way to pretty safely make some money. No matter what ship you have, you can pick up some funds this way. So you'll see the sparkle on it, and then there's another sparkle right there. And as you fly in closer, you can see this actual crystal here. And there's different colors. Purple, I think, is the cheapest, but it's the most common. What you want to look for are the orange ones. They're worth quite a bit more than the purple ones, but we'll go ahead and get this one anyway, just to get some funds. So we just shoot at it, and we'll see quite a few crystals come off of it. And then we'll just need to fly up here to it to collect them. And I think the guide I looked at, we'll see if it's still true. These are worth like 1,000 each, so not a ton. It's still a little bit of funds for us. All right, and then let's see, we had some updates there. I just saw something about like making a bomb, and then we can take missions for black market traders. We have to look into that. But basically, that was collecting one crystal for us. Now let's look around and see if we can find an orange one. I might pause it for a second here, find an orange one, because I know they're worth way more. So I want you to make sure we know what they look like. All right, so real quick, I want to just make sure you see what they look like from a distance, since once you know what you're looking for, they're not too hard to spot. But like on this asteroid right here, there's like a little white sparkling light, like a little strobe light flashing every so often. And so from a distance, that's what they look like. Of course, now I'm talking about it, it's probably rotated around. I feel like as I was talking about them earlier, I saw it several times on different asteroids, and then now that I'm actually trying to, there it was. So like just a little white sparkle that if you're moving really fast, you might not see it, but if you're kind of being still and looking, it's not too hard to spot. And there's one over there too. All right, let's zoom in there and actually collect these, see what we got. All right, so that was another purple one here that I've blasted as this asteroid is rotating, and we got them all scattered all through here. The one other thing I just figured out that I knew I was doing it wrong is that you can actually suck in items to you. So you have a container magnet, and if you look in the settings, it's the O key. Well, I didn't realize at first was that you actually have to hold it down for it to work. So if you just tap it, you'll see down here it says container magnet activated, deactivated. Stuff will come towards you, but you can hold it down and it'll keep pulling stuff into you. So that's an easier way to pick up when there's items out there in space. You don't have to fly straight into them. You just get close to them and suck them in that way. All right, so I found a couple more purples there, which I think, like I said, purple's worth like 1,000 a piece, which we've picked up quite a few, so they're worth a bit. But let's keep looking. I want to find at least one orange one because they're worth like way more. All right, so here I found some yellow crystals, so that'll be worth a little bit more. Let's see how much. And as you can see, this is on a really small asteroid, so they can appear on the really big ones or the really small ones. Let's go ahead and scoop these up. Tuck them in. And then to see what we got so far, you can go to your inventory. So these appear in your personal inventory, not in the ship inventory. So you go to here and then down to inventory, and then we'll see right here. So the bandonite, that's the purple ones. They're only worth 1,000 each. And then the agulite, that's the ones we just picked up. Those worth 15,000 each. Much nicer. All right, so there we go. That's some money. 180,000 off just that one little crystal I found just then. But I did have to fly around for a few minutes before I found that one. So I can confirm crystal mining. Not super exciting, but you could find some money this way, but not very exciting either. And then definitely, from what I read, it used to be an easy way to make a bunch of money real fast. Now in this version, it takes a little while, but it is a safe way to find some crystals to sell and make some money. And then I did find earlier when that black market thing popped up is because I'd picked up these unstable crystals, which are worth a little over 5,000 each, but they are illegal items. So unless you know where you're going to go sell those, you might not want to be hauling them around too long because you'll get periodically scanned as you pass by stations and things with like patrols going around will scan your ship. So we don't want to get caught with those. So one way you can get rid of them is just click this drop illegal items and we'll get those out because we're not looking for any trouble just yet. All right, I'm gonna fly around a little more and see if I can find any more because that was exciting. Those are worth 15,000 each, so we got 180,000 off just this one little crystal we found. So I'll fly around a little more, see what else we can scoop up. All right, so after flying around for maybe a total of 20 minutes or so, I did feel like I got a little better at spotting them, and then I had some lucky streaks where I was kind of getting one crystal after another. But for the most part, I would say, yeah, the rumors are true of what I read. That crystal mining's not a very exciting way to make money and not the most efficient. So very early on, not too bad, but I would say once we get some more income going, this is not something we want to spend too much time doing. But let's see right now. So I've found in 20-30 minutes of flying around, I found, and I was still also kind of like learning how to spot them, so you could probably do a little bit better. But I found 194 of the purple crystals, or harvested 194. And then I got lucky and found that one yellow cluster that was worth as much as all of those together. So yeah, if you get lucky and find a yellow or orange one, then one of those is worth 20 minutes of flying around looking for the purple ones. But a total of about 379,000 credits worth of crystals that we found while we're flying around. So it's not too bad for here early on in the game where we have no money, and we could do like an easy mission that would get us 50,000 credits or so, but it might take 15 minutes on its own itself, and so you might have to do several of those easy missions to get the same amount. So it's not the worst idea, but as we go here, we'll find better ways to make money as you get a little further into the game. But for right at the very beginning, crystal mining, not too bad, get you a little extra cash. Since we do have some money available to us now, let's look at buying our first new spaceship. So depending on what start you had, you began with some kind of small craft, a scout, fighter, small trader, whatever it may be. But we are going to buy our first mining ship to add to our fleet and get us some of that income going like we were talking about. So if you're like me, still in the Argon Prime sector, you can just hop on over to the wharf. And that's where we can buy small ships. And you can actually order it before you even get there, but we need to sell all those crystals first. So we'll need to go to the trader shop to do that. So I'm going to head that way. So there they do small and medium ships at the wharfs and then larger ships at the shipyard, but we don't have that kind of money yet, so we'll head over to the wharf. And then I'm gonna fast forward here and I'll join you whenever we get there and get that stuff sold. All right, so now I went to the trader station, or the trader's corner on the station, and sold all those crystals. So I'm at 469,000, almost 470,000 credits, so that's plenty of money to buy something for us. And then there's actually a ship dealership location on the wharf, and I came here, but like the NPC seems to be missing. And just for fun, I was trying to find them, and it seemed like whenever I asked where they were, told me I needed to undock to go find them. So I guess the NPC who works here normally has wandered off the station. But we can still buy a ship anyway. We can come to the map is one way to do it, and just right click and come down here to buy ships. Now, when you get to this screen, it's kind of like where we modified our ship before, but here we're getting a fresh ship, brand new. So you can come here, say we want size medium or small. I think medium is probably more efficient for the mining ships from what I read. You're just going to be able to haul more. It's going to be better overall, but for our current budget and just for our example, we'll just go with a small ship. And then here are the various ships you can build. If you go to a different faction's wharf, they'll have other things available. You'll see that some of them are red. You need a special military ship license from the Federation to build those ships here. And you'll see there's some on the medium as well. So some of the nicer combat ships, you're going to need them to trust you or buy a license from them before you can actually build those. But we are going to build a courier miner. So this is, again, this is a small mining ship. Building a medium one if you have enough money is probably the way to go, more efficient overall. But we're just going to do this just for fun for our example. With our ship selected here, what we're actually looking at is just the chassis. So the chassis by itself, 125,000. But we need to add on things like engines, thrusters, software, crew. I think I misspoke earlier, like you have to take a pilot at least, so you can click that. Any ship you buy has to have at least one pilot, one crew member on board. The only exception, I guess, is the ship you start with doesn't have any NPCs assigned to it. And if you look on the map, you actually see like a little red exclamation mark telling you that. The significance being that if, say, you got out of your ship and somehow got separated from it without having any additional crew in it, then you can't call that ship to come help you. You can't call like anyone really to come help you. So that's something to kind of watch out for in the very early game before you get some NPC ships that you can then order to come help you out. We'll also see here we could have up to 4 crew on this ship, and you see there's service crew and Marines. We're not worried about Marines right now because they are mostly used to board enemy ships and take them over. And then I'm not sure if the computer will ever try to board your ship if you need them for defense or not, but we're not going to be doing any boarding actions with this mining ship. So we could add some service crew. They help the ship be more efficient. They can do different things. I don't know exactly how all the crew stuff works. It's a little confusing with the pilots and crew systems and everything, exactly what it does. But basically they can help repair the ship, make it more efficient, make it better at combat. Just all around, the more crew you have, the better the ship's going to operate, but it costs more credits. And then also we need like our engines, thrusters, basic software, and also we need some kind of mining equipment because we need, it even says over here, hey, this mining ship doesn't have any mining equipment selected. So we could go through here and manually pick all this stuff, but one easy way to get started, you can come up here and do a loadout. There's like a minimum preset, and you can see that gives you the bare minimum, but we still don't have any mining equipment on our mining ship, so we'll need that. We could, let's see if we just bump this up just for fun. We'll look at the high preset. That costs 1.4 million, so we can't afford that, but you can see that gives it like Mark III engines, Mark III shields, basically the fancier version of everything. Let's go back down to low. That's 273,000, so we can afford that. And that gets us engines, thrusters, shield, a mining drill, and then a bunch of software. Now looking through here, most of this stuff is good. Basically, good software is going to let the ship fly better. Trading computer, I think it needs that to do trading or to like go find places to sell the stuff. Don't quote me on that though. The police scanner, I don't think we actually need the police scanner on here. We can probably live with just the basic scanner and save some money because it's not like our mining ship's going to be going around scanning anyone's. The police scanner lets you like scan cargo holds and other ships, and if you look at the encyclopedia, it even says it's like illegal to use that unless you have the police license, which I don't have, so we won't do that. But we'll take all the other basic stuff there. And then the mining laser, we might upgrade it to the Mark II because I feel like it does cost a bit, but we've got some money to burn. So we'll go with the Mark II mining drill, and that's going to be better. And then we won't put any defenses on this. I'm not sure if it can even have defenses or not, but we won't worry about that. We're just going to go with the mining drill Mark II, so put our money there. So that brings us to 310,000. And then we could give it, we have the money, we'll throw a full crew. Well, we'll leave one spot open for me if I want to get in there, I guess. So we'll throw a couple of crew members on there so it'll run a little bit better. And then you see, okay, we need to add it to our shopping list. So we'll say add to shopping list. And now it's here. It's something that now we can confirm our order there. So you could order up like a whole bunch of stuff if you wanted to, multiple ships, I guess. But this is plenty for us right now. So we have this ship right here. We could still go back and edit it if we wanted to. And then down here it's saying we'll have 141,000 credits left over. So that's a healthy amount, more than we started the video with. We'll say confirm. And now we have to wait for the ship to actually be built. So yeah, it's part of like the living economy of the game is that we ordered up this like custom built ship with all this exact stuff we want on it. And so the station has to actually construct it now. Before, when I was looking at it, it actually gave me a message, a little warning saying that there weren't enough resources on the station to build the ship I wanted, which seems like it got solved by like a cargo ship showing up or something and dropping off those resources. That's part of that whole living economy thing. Like if you were wanting to hurt a faction and you weren't strong enough to maybe attack their wharf or shipyard where they're building ships, you could instead attack like where the resources are coming from, like intercept a cargo ship and blow it up that had components that they need to build ships, and you could like actually stop them from building new ships that way. So that's a pretty cool part of the game. Alright, so I might have been mistaken. I thought you did have to wait. I thought I read that online, but maybe the ship was ready to go because they already had all the stuff they needed. They didn't have to wait for any resources to show up because it is already right there ready to go. So let's go check it out. We go back to the elevator here. Of course, you don't have to do all this. I like this for the immersion. Kind of fun to go check our ship. So now it shows up here in the list. And let's see what she looks like. Alright, very industrial, very practical. You can see our pilot is up there ready to go. Let's climb aboard, see what it looks like. So yeah, a little more spacious in here. And again, this is still just a small ship, so bigger one. Probably have more room to walk around and check it out, but it looks like there's already stuff in the cargo hold, which I don't think this must just be decorations from the factory or something. We come up here, so yeah, he looks bored, ready to do something. So let's head out and go see if we can mine some asteroids. And then, actually, one thing we want to do before we go mine those asteroids is let's set up our other ship so we can have it follow along with us. So if we want to swap out or whatever, have it do some stuff as well. The problem right now is you can see the little red mark, like we said, it says acquire captain. We don't have any NPC crew on that ship, so we can't give it any orders until we do that. And so you always want to add some crew to that ship early on because it costs just a little bit. It's like 10,000 credits to add someone onto it, and then they don't draw salary or anything after that. So it's pretty low one-time expense to make it where you can then control that ship. Now I tried like remotely adding the crew to it, so you need to be at a wharf where you can do the upgrade, repair docked ships, and that's how you add crew, the same way you add like expendable or consumable items here, because you can't just directly add a pilot, but you can add a crew and then promote one of them to be the pilot. I tried to like remotely do it from across the station and it didn't seem like it worked. It kept getting stuck, so actually I had to go get in the ship and do it. So let me go do that real quick. After we jump this is in the starter ship, we do upgrade, repair docked ships, and then we just come to crew, and then we'll just add a crew member. You can see the station has 679 crew members available. Whenever I added it remotely, it kept saying like it was waiting, and they never got added, so I don't know if that's a bug or if that's working as intended, but we will add a crew member to it. And then also while we're here, we'll go to consumables, and we're going to add some resource probes, because these are going to be useful for our mining operations. Do cost a little bit, but we will add a few. Then we'll add that to our shopping list. So we're just going to spend another 50,000 credits. That's why I didn't want to spend all our credits up front, have some left over. Then it just takes a few seconds for everything to get loaded. Now if we get up, we can go to map, and then yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the map screen that will start being using to control our ships. So now we go to our discover. Now it still says acquire captain. If we go to information and then this crew tab, And then we'll see that now this button is lit up, so we can promote best crew member to pilot. We can click that. And now we have a pilot, Mila Brax, who is a 0-star pilot. So got a little lucky on our mining ship. That guy actually has a little bit of skill already. This pilot does not. And so those stars are going to allow us to, more stars, let us give more advanced orders, and also just make the pilot better at everything. And so something we can do to up our new captain to be a little more capable is run to the trading corner and pick up a seminar, a piloting seminar, basically like give them a lesson on being a pilot, I guess. So we'll go to the traders corner, and every traders corner will have some of these basic seminars, and then sometimes you'll find higher level ones as well. And I think you can get even higher level ones other ways, but the basic level one is here, so we can give them a piloting seminar and a 1-star management seminar, which I don't think we need the management right now. That's more to like for managing like a station, but it's not too expensive, 4,000 credits. He's only got 2 of them, but we just need 1 for now. We'll buy that.
Good luck out there.
And then we can apply it by selecting our ship here and do comm. Basically, we're calling up our new pilot. It's a give seminar right there, and then basic seminar on piloting. We have 1 of those. Basically, you have to buy 1 every time. They can't share it, I guess. We give it that. And now if we go back and look at her again, information, now she's a 1-star pilot. So now she's a little more capable, actually, after reading up a book on how to be a pilot. Her piloting skill, oh, actually she jumped up more than that. Her piloting skill jumped up 1 star plus like another quarter. Her overall skill is at 1 star. So now she'll be much more capable, much better than being at 0 to start with. And so that's how you add a pilot to your starting ship, and then how you do the basic seminar to get them up to 1 star, which you'll probably want to do that at least just to get them kind of a nice start. Now let's go back over to our mining ship. We're going to ride along with it and go see how to do a manual mining and then do some automated mining. Back aboard the mining ship, we're going to see how to give orders. So it's pretty easy. You just need to select your ship. You can either click on them directly here. You can come to this property owned screen here and select them to give them an order. And then once they're selected, you just right click somewhere. You can give orders like tell them to go somewhere, basic stuff here. And then we'll look at how to give them some more advanced orders after a little bit. But we're going to tell our carrier, our mineral ship, to fly out. Now, places to find minerals. If you look at the map here, if there's all just black, that means there's not really anything to mine there. But if we look at, say, the second contact down here, we see some red and purple. So if we turn on the legend here, we can see that red means it's a mineral region, purple means it's a mineral gas region. That's telling us that there are things to mine here, but not necessarily what is to mine there. That's where the resource probe comes in. So for starters, we will just right click with them selected, say, all right, let's go here, say fly and wait. He's just going to take off. And then our Discover Vanguard, our starting ship, we want it to tag along since it's got the resource probes, which I guess we could have loaded some in our mineral ship too, but we'll do some teamwork. We can actually select them and right click on the mineral ship I'm in and tell them follow until further notice. I think you could do it even from the list here, like select them, then right click on the list, tell them follow until further notice, or various other orders, but those are some simple ones we can do. So now, having done that, we are just along for the ride. Our NPC pilot is flying the ship, going where we told him to go, and then our starter ship is tagging along behind us, and it's just going to follow us, be both a little escort and do some scouting for us while we're out and about. So I'll pause here and jump back in when we get to our destination in just a second. We've now arrived at our destination. So we can see there are some asteroids out there. Those are some ice ones for sure. So we'll jump in the pilot seat just to show how to do manual mining. Not that you'll want to do it all the time, but it could be useful, or at least you can see how to do it. And now we get in the seat, we can actually just click on asteroids. Or first off, look at the map again and see that Yeah, we're in a sector where it's purple, so that tells us that that's mineral gas region. There should be asteroids here we can mine, which we look out and see a whole bunch of asteroids. Now we could just left click on them when we're close enough to them, and it'll tell you like over here, it'll say empty if there's nothing to mine, but these are ice asteroids, so they do have a yield of ice. And so that means we could mine these to get some resources from them. And then you fire your mining laser just like your normal weapon, like that. But really, the best way to do it is to hit Shift 2. And this also can help you find asteroids that have stuff in them to mine. If you're in a field where, like the ice ones are pretty easy to spot, but some of the other ones are not as much, or they're less common. And there'll be other colors if they are other types of resources, which I think here all I'm seeing is ice, but maybe we'll find something else later. But basically you see that they change color, telling you that they have resources for you to mine. And then the other thing it does when you turn on this mode is you'll see like little highlighted spots. So hopefully you can see that there's like kind of an orangish reddish spots there. And those change when if you turn your scan off and then back on. Well, those stayed, but they could change. But you can actually target those specifically, and you'll get resources more efficiently. So the resources will drop off of there, and you can hold down the O to do the, if we're close enough to suck it in. And just like we collected stuff before, we'll suck in that ice. And then we're actually full already, so that didn't take very long at all. Now that's the thing with ice, is that it is extremely common and very easy to find, but also means it's super, super cheap. So really, it's not a very economical resource to be mining, trying to sell and make money. Mostly it'd be useful if you want ice and water for your own operations. You might want your own source, but for actually selling it, it's not that great. Now, just like before, we do need somewhere to go sell it. Not everywhere is going to buy it. And so one way we can find that is coming to our trade filter here, and we can type in ice. So now we're looking for places that are going to buy ice, which we don't see anywhere here. We do see here, and yeah, an ice refinery. So we could go there and sell it, but they're only buying it for like 26 credits each. And we just filled up our cargo hold, which, yes, this is a small mining ship, but even so, let's see, we filled up our cargo hold and we're only hauling 325 ice, selling for 26 each. I mean, that'll be a few thousand credits, but it's not much to get excited about. So certainly not spending our time flying through several sectors over to sell it and then back and all that. So we want to find something better, more efficient. Actually, we're just going to dump this ice here because it's not really worth our time. So how do we find something better, a better place to mine and sell? First off, let's see, how can we find what else there is to mine in a location? Like here, we jumped in, we found those ice asteroids pretty easily, but what if we didn't spot those, or what if we think there is other stuff here, but we don't know where it is exactly? So there's a couple strategies we can use, but the most straightforward to get started is we can tell our Vanguard, since we picked up those resource probes, we can order it, we can right click, select it, right click, and deploy a resource probe. And they'll drop it off, and then that will give us some information about what resources are available to mine here in the first place. We still need somewhere to sell things, but we need to get them first. All right, so we drop that resource probe, and we can see there's like a little green circle there. We can just click on it, or we can come up here and click this mining filter, and we turn it on, it'll turn on all your resource probes. So if you have a bunch of them, it'll help you see where they are. But we can see that at least in this circle, in this area, there's hydrogen, a lot of ice, and then a little tiny trace amounts of these other things, which is going to be harder to find, but they're out there. Another thing you could do, a little more clever, is like if we see here, there are some big mining ships over here, and we could follow them, or we could even have our Vanguard, or if we bought like another scout ship, we could have them follow these mineral miners around. And because we know they are going somewhere to mine things, like if they were going to, say, a refinery that was refining something really valuable, and we wondered where are they getting those resources that they're taking there, we could just follow them, see where they go, and find those resources. which could be pretty useful. But these guys look like they're just mining ice because they've actually just dropped ice there too as they're mining. So we're not interested in that. Let's go explore a little bit and find something more valuable. So after a little exploring, I found a nice place where we can set up some mining, be a little more profitable, and that is here in Grand Exchange 4, which is kind of right in the middle of what we've explored so far. There's a lot of stations in these sectors and a lot of resources, but we found a place where there is silicon that we can mine, and there's a silicon refinery here in the same sector. So that means we can set up our NPC to auto mine in this sector, and they don't have to leave, they don't have to go anywhere else, they can just mine right here. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but first I'm going to show you if we come here and turn on scan, we'll see these asteroids light up differently. So these orange ones have ore, which I don't see an ore refinery yet here, so we won't get that, but the blue ones have silicon, which is much more valuable. It's worth about 4 times as much per unit, and we can see there's several of them around. So that's handy. It means we can definitely do some mining of that. Now, to give our NPC pilot all the information he needs to kind of efficiently mine and sell, I'm going to have our discoverer pilot drop a satellite right here by the silicon refinery so that we know what the price is there all the time and that they're buying. And if we set up our NPC miner to auto mine in the local area, they'll get it done, but they'll do it much more efficiently if they have all the information they need. So we're going to have her drop off that satellite right there, like we did before, but we can just have the NPC do it instead of us flying over there. So now we have real-time data on that refinery. And then I'm going to have her fly over here and drop off. I wish we could actually have them do a couple. We'll drop off resource probe there and a resource probe there. And then over time, that'll kind of keep the information updated of where those resources are, where they're most concentrated. And then that'll help our NPC pilot find them more efficiently. And we could drop off more. We can see the sector is pretty big. There's a lot out there to be mined. But we'll just drop off a couple since I know I'm looking right at one right now. So I know that it's here. It can be found. Even if the concentration's much lower than the ice was, that's just because the ice is like so common. It's so easy to find. There's tons of it. But that's what makes it really cheap and not very efficient to mine at the same time. Now we dropped off that one. If we turn on our mining, there we can see, okay, silicon is actually pretty good concentration. A little over 1 star there, so way more than we were seeing in the other sector. And then we'll drop off another here. And then while we're waiting, let's go ahead and just manually mine a little bit just for fun. And then I'll show you how to set up the auto mining, and then that'll probably be enough for this video. And we'll do something more, maybe some combat or something for the next one. Alright, so just like before, we'll target these little spots. And that'll get us that silicon popping off. And then hold down O to suck it in. And just like that, we're almost full. Maybe one more. Maybe we are full. Let's see. It didn't pop up saying it down there, but it. Okay, so we are full. All right, so real quick while we're sitting here, let's see how much are we holding. Click here on information. So we got 260 units, but they can be sold if we switch over. We got so much information on the screen here. If we turn on our trade filter also, they can be sold for 112 credits, and that price can change over time, but 112 is way better than 26, especially if we can set this to be done automatically so we're not having to do it ourselves. We can do something more fun while our pilot sits here and does the mining and makes us some money. You can see here, silicon, yeah, good concentration there as well. So actually, I guess those are a little too close together, but oh well, that's okay. We're going to make back the money we spent on those satellites real quick for those probes. So to set our pilot up to do automated, We can do that. I think I'll have my Vanguard make its way over here to pick me up. Yeah, I got so much stuff on the screen here. All right, it's right there. I'm gonna tell it to come over here. Now we could go to a station and both dock, and I could walk over to it, but we could do a space pickup too. We'll do that just to make it a little more fun. And so I'm gonna get up out of the seat here. And then he's gonna say, all right, back in the seat, boss. And we can set him to have, so we've done how to give like simple orders. You can give a chain of orders too. They'll do one after another. But we can also set a behavior for this ship so that we can just kind of set what we want it to do and not have to come back to it until we want to change it. The way you do that is you select it, and then on the information screen here, we can come over to behavior, and then we can come down here and set a default behavior. And there's tons of options here, but we're going to stick to just what we need. And then down here is where we set the default behavior we want. So right now he's just waiting. Click there. Instead of holding position, we can tell him to do local auto mine. Now you see there's a bunch of other options here. Some of them require your pilot to have a higher rating. So like combat, you can tell them to patrol, but you can actually tell them to act like police and enforce the law if they have 2 stars. We can do local auto mine off the bat, but at higher levels, we can do more complex mining operations. Because the local auto mine basically means they're just going to stay in this sector. They're not going to use any jump gates or accelerators. So that's why we needed to find a place where he can mine and sell the stuff in the same place without needing to travel. The higher levels let them travel more, be more efficient. And I'm not sure what the difference between advanced and expert is, but basically they can start traveling and going further distances to find what they need to make some money. But we'll just hit local auto mine. Then you're going to select where, so what we want them to be buying and be mining. And since we know we got some silicon here and a place to sell it, we'll do silicon, and then you can select location. So it's already got Grand Exchange, and so we'll just leave it on Grand Exchange 4. That is where we're already at. We'll say confirm, and now he's set to do that, and he doesn't need any other direction from us. And now one thing, I don't know for sure exactly the details on this, but basically like if you're in the sector, if you're in the ship with a pilot who's doing some automated mining like this, it has to render like exactly what's happening. So it's actually less efficient if you're like there. So it's better to go away and let it be kind of abstracted a little bit and carried out. So since I want him to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of the ship. And well, actually I don't know if we can get out while it's moving. Hang on, we might need to tell him to stop so we can do that. Or never mind, I forgot. Let's go here and click use spacesuit. Or pop out. Now, this is not how you necessarily need to always do it. It might be better to switch seats at a space station, a little more secure. But I'm just going to pop out into space. Not recommended unless you know you have a ride coming to pick you up, because you have limited survival out here all by yourself. I'm going to come here and tell my Vanguard pick me up, which I was wondering if there was like the direct option, come pick me up, but rescue. All right, tell it to right click the spacesuit, that's me. Come rescue me. It came zooming in there scarily fast. Feel very vulnerable them flying around that fast around me. Alright, she's telling me to dock with her. Spacesuit operations are a little finicky, but it's basically docking just like with a space station. You just have to get close enough, you don't have to go all the way up in there. Alright, so now I'm back in my starter ship. And I can say, alright, I got it for now, you take a break. And let's check back over here with him and see if he's, yep, there away he goes. He's on his way, he's already loaded up with silicon, and he's on his way to go to the silicon refinery to sell it. So then he'll go over there, sell it, and then come back and mine some more. And then we've got resource probes telling him where he can find some more silicon. So he's gonna start making money for us, and we don't even have to worry about anything other than if some enemy ships, hostile aliens or something, show up and attack him. But we'll leave that problem for a future day. And yeah, just hope that there's plenty of friendly ships hanging around here that hopefully they'll enforce the law for us. So that's probably enough for this video. I learned a lot making this video. I'd always tinkered around with the game, and actually I've never got this far before of getting my first NPC ship out there mining automatically and picking up some money for me while I go do other stuff. But that's pretty exciting. And so, but in this video we showed how to make some money off crystal mining, how to buy a ship. We picked up our first mining ship. We picked up some NPC pilots. We gave them orders. We did a whole bunch of stuff in this video. And then now we have our first little mining ship out here set to auto mine silicon, sell it to this refinery, rinse and repeat, and the money comes our way, which is very nice while we go do other stuff. And this is just the beginning. This is one ship, and then you can roll that into more and more, and then eventually not just be selling it, but having your own factories and refineries and things to make bigger, better stuff, to make more money, to make bigger ships. You know how it goes. So we'll end this video here. If you're enjoying the series, make sure you hit like, subscribe. Next video, we'll see, maybe we'll do combat, maybe we'll build another station. We'll see how it goes. I tend to, like I said, this is a let's learn series, so I'm kind of learning as I go. Depends on what I run into as I'm playing here. A whole bunch of ships flying around there. I wonder what they're doing. I feel very safe with so many ships around me. But anyway, see you next time on the next video, and we'll keep learning how to play X4 Foundations. Thanks for watching. Bye.